All right, Shalom. And first and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone. Peace and salutation to the Alkiam and to the elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of this earth, pushing the truth in faith and in all sincerity. I'm the brother Shamala from the GMS Houston camp, and this lesson, is going to be entitled. First, let me put my screen up. All right, there we go. All right, this lesson going to be entitled, Israel will be planted with strong roots. All right. And, after I, read a couple of scriptures, all right, you will understand, why I selected that title. But when you plant something or with strong roots, all right, or when you plant something or plant a tree, all right, or anything like that, and it has strong roots, it's difficult to pull it up. All right, especially like a tree that's been established for some time. It can withstand, about anything. All right, and this is what the Most High, all right, is going to do, right, for His people. All right, He's going to plant, the nation of Israel, which are the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, that makes up the 12 tribes. He's going to plant us, right, back in our land, and we won't be taking about our land, anymore. Okay. So us raising up right now, right, is a sign, that the Lord's going to come through on that promise and deliver us and take us back to the land. Like the scriptures say, it's in Ephesians. It was the first chapter. But how that the Holy Spirit is a down payment, right, for the until the Lord comes through the rest, that He promised. All right, but it's a down payment to let us know, that He is. All right, and that the things that He said are true. All right, but this is Jeremiah 30:10. It says, "Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel." It says, "For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid." All right, so Jacob represents, the Israelites. All right, the 12 tribes, right? Jacob and Israel. The Jacob name was changed to Israel. Okay, but it says, don't fear. All right, don't be dismayed. It says, I will save thee from afar. Because the curses, when you read the curses Deuteronomy 28, right, from us being disobedient unto the Lord, that, caused us to be scattered, right, throughout the four corners of the earth. And we are in captivity, right, in many different lands. But the bulk of us is over here in America, Babylon the Great. All right. This is where the bulk, right, of the Israelites are at. So that's why I say I will save thee from afar. So it don't matter where you at. All right. If you're a part of the elect, the Lord's going to come and get you. It says, and I see you from the land of their captivity, right, wherever they may be at. All right. The main captivity is over here, right, on the Esau Edom. Okay. The captivity, spoke about, in Revelation, the 11th chapter. When it speaks about, that 3 days or 3 days and a half, all right, which represents the 350 years. Okay, so when we came over here, right, in slavery, all the way up into the 1970s, and that's when the Lord raised up Elijah the prophet again. All right, also known as Abba Bivens. All right, but it says, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid, right? And so it says, none shall make us afraid. So our people are they're afraid of a lot, okay? Because of, the enemy, right, which is Esau Edom. This man, he has his own laws and this and that, but he's a lawless individual. He don't keep that. He said his spirit, which is in him, is not upright. So this man is wicked, and each and every day, he looks for new ways to put our people down. Right, a lot of things are directed, towards us as a nation. Okay, how to further, destroy us. Okay, and it's just even a lot on how people, have this, I guess, stigma, I guess you can say, all right, upon them, which a lot of people, a lot of our people are wicked. All right, and they're wild, right? And they're out here in the streets, just doing dumb things, and a lot of times they just getting judged. Okay, but still, when Esau, right, he basically has vengeance on his mind. He has death on his mind when it comes to our people. All right, like for example, if a cop pulls over, an Israelite, right, they look for any and every excuse, to try to take them out. Okay, and it's like shit. Whenever we drive and getting pulled over, hey, you in fear. You don't know what's about to happen. All right, but hey, the Lord got us. This is Amos 9:14. It says, "And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel," meaning take us out of captivity. All right. It says, "And they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them." All right, because the land of Israel, okay, will be destroyed. Okay, because World War III, all right, will be fought with nuclear fire, right? Nuclear missiles. All right, and then it's going to hit Babylon the Great, right, which is America, and it's also going to hit, the land of Israel. And during the war, all of that's going to be, destroyed. So that's going to have to be built back up. Okay. And Isaiah 60 speaks about, the heathen doing that for us. But the land's going to build back up, and we will inhabit them. The Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, right, so-called, will inhabit that land because it was promised unto our forefathers, okay, for an everlasting possession. So, we have to possess it, or that will make the Most High a liar, right? And they said they shall plant vineyards, right, and drink, the wine thereof, right? And they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. All right, so we'll be able to sustain ourselves with our own things, because the curses says what? The curses said, that we will go to our enemy for the one of all things. Okay, but this is going to change. Okay, the Lord's going to give us, everything we need. The Lord's going to take care of us. All right, we're not going to have to go to the enemy for nothing. Okay, because the world is going to be in our possession. It's like it says in the book of 2nd Ezra that the earth was created for our sakes. It says, "And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, said Yahweh thy power." So he said he's going to plant us, right? And we're not going to be pulled up out of the land. Okay. So signifying we will have strong roots and we won't never move up out of this land again. Nobody will ever, come put us in captivity, right? Take us somewhere far off. All right. It's not going to happen again. We're going to be unmovable. Right, because the Lord is going to be with us. Okay. 2 Samuel 7:10 says, "Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time. All right. So I said, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, which is the land of Israel, and will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own. Right. Because we ain't in our land. Okay. Our land is over there in the land of Israel. All right. But ultimately, the whole world belongs to us. All right. But, the Lord, gave us, specific plots of land, as an inheritance, right? And he also gave that to the heathen as well, all right, which, while giving us the best. All right. It says that they may dwell in the place of their own, right? It's not Africa, all right? It's not the motherland. All right. We are not Africans. All right. We're Israelites. Okay. Our land is Israel. It says, and move no more, right? Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time, all right, which are the Edomites. So we won't be afflicted by them anymore. After this captivity, it's over with. All right. It's a done deal. Isaiah 32:18. And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, and in sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. Okay. So it should be a peaceable habitation. All right. Sure dwellings and quiet resting places. All right. I mean, it ain't going to be all this fucking noise that we hear all the fucking time. The ambulance and the fire truck, right? Or you may live in an apartment, you hear people arguing, right, and fighting. They call it domestic violence, right? You have people shooting and fighting, and just a lot of violence. Okay, I think Isaiah 60 even goes into that. Right? Ain't gonna be no violence heard within our gates. The Lord's gonna do away with all of that because that's a curse that our people are doing this. All right. We're not dwelling in peace in a peaceable habitation, right? You got to worry about somebody breaking in, or somebody trying to rob you, or whatever. This is a dangerous place. So this is the valley of the shadow of death. All right. But this is Isaiah 52:1. It says, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. Right, which is talking about the people, not the place, because how can Jerusalem put on garments? All right, it's talking about the people, and those beautiful garments is this truth. All right, but it says, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. So we're gonna wake up, which we're waking up right now. All right, with this truth, right? Because it says, shake thyself from the dust, which is that confusion that we was in. Okay, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. All right. And we freed ourselves. Well, Yahweh Shem Yahushua freed us, right, from the mental captivity, right, through this truth. Because like what Yahweh said, what in John 8:32, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So it started mentally, right? And then it's going to be a physical, freeing, all right, physical salvation. Okay, when Yahweh returns, right, and takes us back to the land. All right, and we'll no longer go into captivity anymore and be pulled up out of our land. All right, we're going to be rooted strong. All right, and never be moved again. So that's the lesson. With that, I'm going to say shalom.